A linear pattern is probably the most commonly used tool for duplicating features. As an example, we'll try it on a heatsink model. To start, go to the Features tab and click Linear Pattern. By default, the settings will appear on the left side of the screen in the Property Manager. On the top right corner of the Property Manager, we'll see a Help button, which gives quick instructions on how to use the tool. Also, if we hover our cursor over the linear pattern icon or name, we can show or hide the Feature Manager. This works with most features in SOLIDWORKS. Below the feature name, you'll notice the OK and Cancel buttons to confirm or cancel the operation. The same buttons are also available at the top right of the graphics area. Now let's create the pattern. First, we need to select what we want to duplicate: features, faces, or bodies. In this example, we'll select a feature. Then, select the portion of the model we want to duplicate. In this example, we'll choose this portion, which is named Boss Extrude 4. Once selected, the feature will appear in the list inside the Features column. If you select the wrong portion, don't worry. You don't need to cancel the whole operation. Simply right-click on the item in the list, then choose Clear Selections to remove all items, or Delete to remove just one. Another way to select what we want to duplicate is through the Feature Manager. Simply open the Feature Manager and click on Boss Extrude 4. Once selected, the preview will appear in yellow on the model, showing the shape of the feature. Now we need to set the direction for the pattern. In the Direction 1 box, select a linear reference as the pattern direction. This could be an edge, a face, or even a sketch line. Typically, edges are used, but anything that defines a straight path will work. For this example, I'll select this edge. The feature will then be duplicated along the X direction. On the left side of the pattern direction column, there's an icon to reverse direction. Click it to flip the pattern to the opposite side. Next, we set the spacing and the number of instances. These values can be entered either in the Property Manager or directly in the Direction 1 box in the graphics area. For spacing, I'll enter 6 millimeters. This controls the distance between each copy. To see it more clearly, I'll switch to the front view. For number of instances, I'll set it to 18. This defines how many copies of the feature we want. All right, I'll return to the Dimetric view. The pattern already looks good. To finish the operation, simply click OK. Next, let's try the linear pattern with a perforated plate model. Here we have Cut Extrude 1, which makes a hole in the plate. I'll switch to top view so we can see the hole and its dimensions more clearly. Now we need to duplicate Cut Extrude 1 to create multiple holes in the plate. Go to the Features tab and select Linear Pattern. We'll see that Cut Extrude 1 is already listed in the Features box because we clicked it earlier. Next, click on the box for pattern direction. We can actually use a dimension as a reference for the pattern direction. For example, I'll select this dimension. The preview shows up in yellow. But I've already prepared a sketch line as a reference, so let's use that instead. To remove the reference, right-click in the selection box and choose Delete. To make the sketch line visible, show the Feature Manager, expand Cut Extrude 1, right-click on Sketch, and choose Show. Now select the horizontal center line as Direction 1, and then click Reverse Direction. Next, let's try the Up to Reference option. This option lets the number of holes adjust automatically until they reach a reference. We can still set spacing and number of instances. But now we also have a box for reference geometry. The reference can be a vertex, edge, face, plane, or even a sketch point. In this example, I'll select the left end point of the horizontal center line. The whole pattern automatically extends until this endpoint. Below that, there's an offset distance option, which adds space before or beyond the reference. The default is 0 millimeters. For example, if we enter 50 millimeters, the holes will stop 50 millimeters before the endpoint. If we click reverse offset direction, the holes will extend 50 millimeters past the endpoint. For now, we'll leave it at 0 millimeters. Next, leave centroid selected. Let's set the number of instances to 9. The spacing will update automatically. Now we need a second direction. For direction 2, I'll choose the vertical center line. This will duplicate the holes along the Z direction. Again, choose up to reference and select the top endpoint as the reference. Then set the number of instances to 6. The spacing will adjust automatically. There's also a setting called Pattern Seed Only. If this is turned on, only the original features we picked will be duplicated. We'll leave it turned off. When the preview looks right, click OK to complete the operation. Finally, hide the sketch again by right-clicking it and choosing Hide. All right, I'll set the view to trimetric, and don't forget to save. Next, let's try the L-shaped support bracket model. Go to the Features tab and select Linear Pattern. Click this edge as the pattern direction. In the Features to Pattern box, select the Cut Extrude One Hole to duplicate. Set the spacing to 3 inches and the number of instances to 3. Switch to the front view to see the pattern more clearly. If everything looks correct, click OK to complete the operation. Now let's try another pattern. Select Linear Pattern again and set the view to isometric. Choose this edge as the pattern direction. In the Features to Pattern box, select the Cut Extrude 3 hole. Set the spacing to 0.5 inches and the number of instances to 13. Switch to the top view for a clearer preview. Now what if we need to remove some holes from the pattern? For this, we use Instances to skip. Click Instances to skip to activate it. Signs will appear on the pattern preview in the graphics area. Click on a sign to exclude that instance and click it again to bring it back. In this example, I'll exclude 1 hole in the middle, 2 holes in the middle on the left side, and 2 holes in the middle on the right side. The pattern looks good now, so click OK to complete the operation. All right, set the view back to isometric and make sure to save our work. Next, let's try the linear pattern on the cloth hanger model. I want to duplicate the hook along the rod. Go to the Features tab and select Linear Pattern. In the Property Manager, click Features to Pattern box and select the hook to be duplicated. Oops, a notice appears. Unable to pattern the selected feature rod 3 millimeters. If this notice appears, it means we cannot select that portion as Features to Pattern. This happens because the hook is not merged into a single feature, but is still separate. Click OK on the notice. To duplicate the hook, go to the Property Manager and select Bodies to Pattern instead. Then select the hook body, which consists of rod 3 millimeters and revolve 1. Now the hook can be duplicated. Next, we need to define where the hook will be placed. I will show the sketch of the hanger rod as the pattern reference. In the Feature Manager, find the hanger rod sketch. Right-click on it and choose Show. Then, in Direction 1, click Pattern Direction and select the construction line from the sketch as the reference direction. Select Up to Reference, and for Reference Geometry, choose the left endpoint of the construction line. The preview appears in yellow, and the hooks are automatically duplicated up to that endpoint. Next, set the number of instances to 9. The spacing will adjust automatically. The preview looks good, so click OK to complete the operation. I will hide the hanger rod sketch again by right-clicking on it and selecting Hide. Don't forget to click Save to keep our work. Next, I will create a linear pattern for the soap holder model. The goal is to duplicate the Sweep 2 feature along the Sweep 1 path. First, go to the Features tab, then select Linear Pattern. To make it easier, let's display the Sweep 1 sketch as a reference. Go to the Feature Manager, click the arrow next to Sweep 1, then right-click on the sketch and select Show. In the Property Manager, click Features to Pattern and select Sweep 2 as the feature to duplicate. Then, under Direction 1, click Pattern Direction and select the sketch line as the direction. We can now see a yellow preview on the screen. I'll switch to the top view so it's clearer. To make the pattern stop exactly at the end of the line, change the Direction 1 setting to Up to Reference, then select the endpoint of the sketch line as the reference. Now the feature is automatically duplicated all the way to the end of the line. I'll set the spacing to 7 millimeters, while the number of instances will automatically adjust. Now what if we want to duplicate the feature along a curved path? For that, we can use the Vary Sketch option. If we scroll down in the Property Manager, there's an option called Vary Sketch. This function allows the pattern to adjust its size according to changes in dimension along the pattern boundary. Unfortunately, this option cannot be enabled at this time. Why? Because the sketch in Sweep 2 is still a straight line. We need a new sketch that is attached to the curved path. So for now, I'll click OK to finish the operation. Then switch the view to isometric so the result is easier to see. Next, I'll create a new sketch on the curved path. Go to Reference Geometry, then choose Plane. In the Feature Manager, select Front Plane as the reference, then activate Flip Offset to adjust the direction. Set the offset distance to 70 millimeters, plus another 7 millimeters to match the spacing earlier. Once the position is correct, click OK. Click on the new plane, then select Sketch. Since the shape is the same as the previous sketch, I'll just use Convert Entities. Go to the Sketch tab, click Convert Entities, then select the sketch from Sweep 2. Click OK. The sketch appears with its relations shown as green squares. I'll delete those relations first so it can be adjusted to the curved path. Now, let's rotate the model and adjust the view. Click the endpoint of the line, hold Ctrl, then click the curved line. In the Context toolbar, choose Make Pierce. This makes the endpoint attach directly to the curve. Do the same for the other side. Next, switch to Front View to easily add relations and dimensions so the sketch becomes fully defined. Select the vertical line, hold Ctrl, and select the other vertical line. Then, set the relation to Make Vertical. Next, select the first arc, hold Ctrl, select the second arc, and set the relation to Make Equal. For the horizontal line, select it, and set the relation to Make Horizontal. After that, select the midpoint of the horizontal line, hold Ctrl, then select the origin and set the relation to Make Vertical. All right, All relations are set. Now let's add dimensions. Activate Smart Dimension. Click the arc and keep its radius at 10 millimeters. Then click the horizontal line and the origin, then leave it at 20 millimeters. Oh, it looks like there are some relations I missed. The arc points attached to the line is still undefined. So I'll click that arc points, then select Make Tangent. Now the sketch is fully defined. Let's move on. Go to the Features tab, then select Swept Boss Base. In the Property Manager, choose a circular profile and set its diameter to 3 millimeters, the same as the previous pattern. Switch to Isometric View to check the preview more clearly. Click OK to complete the operation. Now we have a new feature along the curved path. To keep the workspace clean, I'll hide the plane. Right-click on the plane, then select Hide. Now it's time to make the pattern again using Linear Pattern. Select Linear Pattern. In the Property Manager, click Features to Pattern and select the newly created Sweep 3. Then, under Direction 1, click Pattern Direction and choose the sketch line as the reference. The preview instantly shows up. If we check, the Vary Sketch option still can't be enabled. That's because the direction is still set to a sketch, not a dimension. So, let's remove the direction reference. Scroll up in the Property Manager, right-click the Pattern Direction field, then select Delete. Now I'll change the direction using a dimension. Select Spacing and Instances. Now if we scroll down again, the Vary Sketch option can be enabled. Check the box to enable it. Keep the spacing at 7 millimeters and set the number of instances to 7. Then, click OK. Oops, a rebuild error notice appears. This happens because the number of instances is too many for the curved profile. So, I'll reduce the number to 6. Then click OK again. And finally, the pattern is successfully created. For the opposite side, I'll use the Mirror feature to duplicate the pattern. Click Mirror, then Show Feature Manager. In the Property Manager, under Mirror Face Plane, select Plane 1. Then, under Features to Mirror, select the pattern we just created. Click OK, and the pattern is mirrored to the other side. Now, Sweep 2 has been successfully duplicated along Sweep 1. To keep the workspace clean, I'll hide the sketch of Sweep 1 by right-clicking it and selecting Hide. All right, don't forget to click Save to store the result. Lastly, I'll use the Linear Pattern feature for the mobile case model. This time, I want to duplicate several features on the camera cutouts, speaker cutouts, button cover, top cutouts, and also the finger grooves. I'll start with the features on the speaker cutouts area. To make it clearer, I'll zoom in on this portion. In the Features tab, I select Linear Pattern. Then, in the Property Manager, under Pattern Direction for Direction 1, I select the edge along the Z-axis, specifically, this edge here. Next, under Features to Pattern, I select Cut Extrude 7 to duplicate. Now, a yellow preview appears along with a Direction 1 box in the Graphics area. To see it more clearly, I switch to the right view and zoom in again. I want to copy Cut Extrude 7 into the area of Cut Extrude 6. For the distance between the copies, I adjust it in the spacing field. I enter 0.8 millimeters, which is the width of the slot. The preview shows that the copies are touching each other because there's no gap yet. So I add +1, making the total 1.8 millimeters for spacing. Then I increase the number of instances until it reaches the other end. The result is 9 instances. Now, what if I want the pattern to vary? For example, the cutouts gradually increase in size from left to right. For that, we can use the Instances to Vary option. I scroll down in the Property Manager, and here I find the Instances to Vary option. This feature allows us to change the size and position of each instance. I enable it by checking the box. After that, additional settings appear in the Direction 1 box, along with the signs in the preview. Now I'll try varying the dimensions. First, I make sure the Choose Feature Dimension to Vary field is highlighted. To change the slot width, I select its width dimension. Then, to change the height, I select its height dimension. The selected dimensions automatically appear in the list and also in the Direction 1 box. Next, I enter the increment values. For the width, I double-click and enter 0.2 millimeters. For the height, I also enter 0.2 millimeters. Then I click OK to see the result. It's still not quite right, so I'll check it first. The second instance has a height of 1 millimeter and a width of 1 millimeter. In the third instance, the height increased to 1.2 millimeters. The width also to 1.2 millimeters, and so on, each increasing by 0.2 millimeters. So the sizes are correct. They gradually increase from left to right. Now let's check the spacing. The distance from the first to the second instance is 1 millimeter. Then to the third, it becomes 0.8 millimeters. And to the fourth, 0.6 millimeters. So the spacing decreases by 0.2 millimeters each copy. To make the spacing consistent, I need to add a spacing increment of 0.2 millimeters. I go to Edit Feature. Then in the Direction 1 Spacing Increment field, I enter 0.2 millimeters. I reduce the number of instances to 7 and then click OK. Now the result looks much better. The spacing between each instance is now consistent at 1 millimeter. The distance from the left edge to the first instance is 0.6 millimeters, and from the right edge to the last instance is also 0.6 millimeters. Next, let's move the view to the other side. In the Features tab, I'll select Linear Pattern again. For the pattern direction, I'll choose this edge. Then, under Features to Pattern, I'll slightly rotate the view and select Cut Extrude 8. If you want to go back to the previous view, simply click Previous View. Now for the spacing, I'll enter 2 millimeters, which is the width of the slot. To add some gap between the copies, I'll add plus 1 millimeter, so the total spacing is 3 millimeters. Then I'll set the number of instances to 7. This time, I want to make a variation where the size gradually decreases from left to right. To do that, I'll scroll down in the Property Manager and enable the Instances to Vary option. To control the size variation, I'll select the width dimension of the slot and also the height dimension. Since I want the size to get smaller, I need to reduce the dimension values. So I'll double-click the width increment column and enter minus 0.2 millimeters. I'll do the same for the height, entering minus 0.2 millimeters as well. To keep the spacing between each instance consistent, I'll set the Direction 1 spacing increment to minus 0.2 millimeters. Once everything is set, I'll click OK to complete the operation. Now I'll adjust the view to check the result on the speaker cutouts area. Next, in the Feature Manager, I'll organize it a bit by moving Linear Pattern 1 and Linear Pattern 2 into the Speaker Cutouts folder. I'll change the view to isometric so we can see the model as a whole. Next, I'm going to duplicate the features on the finger grooves area. In the Features tab, I'll select Linear Pattern. This time, the duplication direction follows the x-axis, so for pattern direction, I'll choose this edge. Then, under Features to Pattern, I'll select Cut Extrude 13. To make the preview clearer, I'll switch the view to Top View. Now let's set the distance between each copy. For spacing, I'll enter 12 millimeters, which is the width of the groove. Then, I'll add another plus 10 millimeters, making the total spacing 22 millimeters. For the number of instances, I'll set it to 4. I also want to add some variation to the pattern, so I'll check the Instances to Vary option. Next, I'll select the groove width dimension to vary. I'll set the increment to 3 millimeters for each instance, so I'll enter 3 millimeters here. Then, for the direction 1 spacing increment, I'll enter 1 millimeter. After that, I'll click OK to see the result. Now let's check. The width of the first instance is 12 millimeters. The second instance is 15 millimeters. The third is 18 millimeters. And the fourth is 21 millimeters. So each instance increases by 3 millimeters, just as I said earlier. Next, let's check the spacing. The distance from instance 1 to 2 is 10 millimeters, from 2 to 3 is 8 millimeters, and from 3 to 4 is 6 millimeters. That means the spacing decreases by 2 millimeters each copy, even though I entered a plus 1 millimeter increment earlier. This happens to balance the increasing width of each instance. So the purpose is indeed to create a gradual reduction in spacing by 2 millimeters. All right, now what if I want to modify only a specific instance? For example, the fourth instance. Here's how to do that. I'll go back to Edit feature first. On the fourth instance, I'll click the sign that appears. You'll see several options: Skip Instance, Modify Instance, and Customize Menu. If I click Customize Menu, I can check or uncheck Skip Instance and Modify Instance options. When checked, these options will appear when the icon is clicked. If unchecked, they'll be hidden. I'll turn them back on by checking them again. Now I'll click the icon on the fourth instance and choose Skip Instance. The fourth instance disappears. To bring it back, click the icon again and select Unskip Instance. Next, let's try another option: Modify Instance. Here, I can change both the dimension and the spacing of that particular instance. For example, I'll change the width to 14 millimeters. Previously, the spacing to the third instance was 6 millimeters, so I'll change it to 5 millimeters instead. That means the overall distance value changes from 69 millimeters to 68 millimeters. I'll click OK. And now the fourth instance has a width of 14 millimeters and a spacing of 5 millimeters from the third instance. All right, now I'll switch the view to isometric. I want to add a fillet to the edges of the groove. In the Features tab, I'll select Fillet. I'll set the radius to 2 millimeters, then select the groove faces. Click OK to complete the operation. In the Feature Manager, I'll organize it neatly by moving Linear Pattern 3 and Fillet 15 into the Finger Grooves folder. Next, I'm going to duplicate the features on the button cover area. I'll switch the view to Front View, then zoom in on the button cover area. In the Features tab, I'll select Linear Pattern. In the Property Manager for pattern direction, I'll choose this edge. Here, the direction arrow is pointing to the right, but I want it to go to the left. So I'll click Reverse Direction to flip it. Then, under Features to Pattern, I'll select Boss Extrude 7 and Fillet 12. A yellow preview along with the Direction 1 box now appears in the graphics area. Now let's set the spacing. I'll enter 2 right arc radius. plus 10, slot length, plus 2, left arc radius, plus 3.5, gap between instances. Then subtract minus 2.5, half of the slot length reduction I'll vary later. So the total spacing is 15 millimeters. Next, I'll set the number of instances to 3. Then I'll scroll down in the Property Manager and check the Instances to Vary option to add variation to the pattern. Make sure the Choose Feature Dimension to Vary in Direction 1 field is highlighted. Then I'll select the Slot Length dimension. For the variation, I'll enter an increment value of minus 5 millimeters, so the slot length decreases by 5 millimeters each copy. Next, for the third instance, I'll click the sign in the preview and select Modify Instance. Here, I'll change the slot length to 5 millimeters. For the spacing, I'll reduce it by 2.5 millimeters, half of the reduction from the second instance, and then reduce it again by another 2.5 millimeters, half of the reduction from the third instance. So the spacing for the third instance is 25 millimeters. After everything is set, I'll click OK to complete the operation. Now I'll rotate the view to check the result. All right, I'll switch the view to isometric. In the Feature Manager, I'll organize the tree by moving Linear Pattern 4 into the Button Cover folder. Next, I'm going to duplicate the features in the Camera Cutouts area. I'll zoom in on the Camera Cutouts area. Here, I want to duplicate Cut Extrude 4 so that there are 3 camera cutouts. In the Features tab, I'll select Linear Pattern. In the Property Manager, for Pattern Direction, I'll choose this edge. Then, under Features to Pattern, I'll select Cut Extrude 4. A yellow preview with a Direction 1 box now appears in the Graphics area. To make it clearer, I'll switch the view to Top View and zoom in a bit more. Right now, the direction arrow is pointing to the right, but I want it to go to the left. So, I'll click Reverse Direction to flip it. I want the 2 new cutouts to be centered inside the circles from Boss Extrude 5 and to match the circle edges in size. So first, I need to check their distance and diameter. I'll go to the Evaluate tab and choose Measure. Then I'll click the edge of Cut Extrude 4 and the circular face of Boss Extrude 5. The distance is 10 millimeters. I'll measure the other circle. It's also 10 millimeters apart. Then I'll click its edge to measure the diameter. It's 8 millimeters. The other circle has the same diameter, 8 millimeters as well. All right, so here I'll keep the spacing at 10 millimeters and set the number of instances to 3. Next, I'll scroll down in the Property Manager and check the Instances to Vary option. Make sure the Choose Feature Dimension to Vary in Direction 1 field is highlighted. Then I'll select the Circle Diameter dimension. Earlier, we saw that the circle edge diameter is 8 millimeters, while the duplicated cutout diameter is 5 millimeters. So, in the Increment field, I'll enter 3 millimeters for the second instance. For the third instance, I'll click the sign in the preview and select Modify Instance. By default, its diameter becomes 11 millimeters because of the increment, but I'll change it to 8 millimeters so it matches the circle. The spacing to the third instance is already correct, 20 millimeters. Once everything looks good, I'll click OK to complete the operation. Then I'll rotate the view to check the result. All right, now I'll switch the view to isometric. In the Feature Manager, I'll tidy things up by moving Linear Pattern 5 into the Camera Cutouts folder. Finally, I'm going to duplicate the features in the top cutouts area. I'll rotate the view and zoom in on the top cutout area. Here, I'll duplicate Cut Extrude 10 and Fillet 13 to the left side, creating 3 cutouts with different sizes. In the Features tab, I'll select Linear Pattern again. In the Property Manager for Pattern Direction, I'll select this edge. Then, under Features to Pattern, I'll click Cut Extrude 10 and Fillet 13. A yellow preview along with the Direction 1 box now appears in the Graphics area. I'll switch the view to the left side, then click Reverse Direction to flip the arrow. For spacing, I'll enter 3 millimeters, the circle diameter, plus 4 millimeters, the distance between instances, which gives a total spacing of 7 millimeters. I'll leave the number of instances at 3. Next, I'll enable instances to vary. Make sure the Choose Feature Dimensions to Vary in Direction 1 field is highlighted. Then I'll select the circle diameter dimension. I'll enter an increment of 3 millimeters for the second instance. For the third instance, I'll click the sign in the preview and choose Modify Instance. I'll change the diameter to 4 millimeters. Then, for the spacing, I'll enter 7 between instance 1 and 2, plus 10 between instance 2 and 3. So the total spacing to the third instance is 17 millimeters. Once everything looks good, I'll click OK and rotate the view to check the result. All right. Now I'll switch the view to isometric, and in the Feature Manager, I'll tidy things up by moving Linear Pattern 6 into the Top Cutouts folder. Now, I want to create a copy of the body so I can see both the top and bottom view of the model at the same time. In the Search Commands box, I type Copy, then select Move/Copy Bodies. I click on the model, and here I make sure that Copy is checked. I rotate the model a bit. We can see that some numbers in the Property Manager under Rotate are changing. In that field, I enter 180 degrees. Then I click OK. Next, in the Search Commands box, I select Move Copy Bodies again. I click on the copied body that was rotated earlier, and this time I uncheck Copy. Then I move the model slightly. We'll notice the numbers in the Property Manager under Translate are changing as well. In that field, I enter 95 millimeters to move it. Then I click OK to finish. Now I click Zoom to fit, then zoom in again. In the display style, I switch to shaded. All right, don't forget to click Save.